I do a weekly update on DC fast chargers that have been installed the week previous. And what I'm watching for is a big uptick in installations because we're hovering somewhere between, 100 to 300 DC fast chargers per week getting installed. And although that's significant, that's nowhere near what is going to be needed in order to hit the studied amount needed by 2030, which is 180,000. And I think what's going to happen, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this on a routine basis, really for my own interest, and I shared it in a YouTube video for the community to get back a little bit, is what's going to happen is the C-stores or convenience store operators are going to start filling in the gap because they're going to see that if they put a DC fast charger on their property, because ubiquity of EV usage in the community is going to be prevalent, that they'll be able to attract customers to their stores with higher dwell time. And the people who run convenience stores are very aware of the need to attract customers and sell things at a compelling rate in order to make a profit. So they have that whole game kind of worked out and dialed in and calibrated. So really, I think that's where the bulk of the DC fast chargers are going to come. And so I've got my eye on several C-store operators in order to see when this hockey stick implementation of DC fast chargers starts to take off. This week, there was an article from a magazine I had not heard of, Grist, which is also running a website, grist.org. That's where I found it from. And this is what that organization's mission is. It looks like it's a nonprofit based in Seattle, Washington, and they did a very good article on how they help the C-store businesses, and there's some studies here. Where they got their sources from is the head of, I think it's alternative fuels or electric vehicle charging at RaceTrac. And here's some quotes. We've done a ton of analysis. We've gone deep. So as I mentioned, these C-store operators have their prices calibrated to a fine decimal point. And when they see the charging has beneficial impact to their stores, it's just going to have a multiplication effect on the number of DC fast chargers that get installed. Similar to the tipping point when price parity with electric vehicle sales happens, and we're right on that cusp. I don't know if anyone's heard, but the Mustang Mach-E is being dropped in price, and there's several other models that are now at price parity. So we're likely going to be moving past price parity here in 2025, late 2025, 2026, and that's when the adoption rate really starts to skyrocket. So if you're going to fill your regular vehicle up under a canopy, there should be no reason you can't do the same with an EV. And this is the person getting quoted, the RaceTrac head of EV charging. Nothing that a well-lit facility that includes access to clean restrooms also goes a long way towards drawing patrons. So having EV chargers relegated to the back of an anchor mall's parking lot is quickly changing to C-store operators, putting them very close to their stores, similar to this. As you can see, there's a canopy and the C-store is right there. And then you can fuel up, go inside, and get yourself some snacks or whatever you want. Patel says RaceTrac is indeed seeing a bump in sales. So as I said, these people are aware if they put this charger on their property, what change does that have in this store? And according to Patel, he says they are seeing a bump in sales while people stop to plug in. The quality of the experience seems to be a big difference. So if you just put a charger in the back of your lot, it's different than if you make it with a canopy and a squeegee and a trash can and things like that, which is why the company has invested in features like canopies. Over here, a recent study in the Journal of Nature Communications, and I'll link this article down below in the description, looked at chargers in California and found that pre-pandemic, businesses saw an average annual boost of $1,500 when at least one of the devices stood nearby. And I don't think this study was looking at DC fast chargers. I think DC fast chargers is actually higher. I think this was looking at level 2, which are a little bit more sporadically used. The DC fast chargers are really a necessity for people who are charging that don't have the ability to charge at home. So that's where the C-store operators really start filling the gap. And it is speculated, according to the the National Renewable Energies Laboratory 2023 study that most electric vehicle charging will be consumed by people in multi-tenant dwellings that don't have the ability to charge at home. So things like this at the C-store is where that gap is going to be filled in. Another paper examined Tesla supercharger installations and saw that it brought a 4% increase in visitors to a business. So once again, as a retail operator, it's all about attracting customers. How do you get customers to your business? And putting an electric vehicle charger as the adoption rate starts to increase is going to have an increased effect. Sorry. So some of the C-stores that we know of that are currently in progress with DC fast charger implementation, 7-Eleven has the 7 Charge, about 35 locations. Quick Trip has just started with some NEVI awards. And also some of their stores will be getting builds outside of NEVI funding. Shell Recharge is said to be closing, that says 100, I apologize, that's a typo. It should be 1,000 gas stations to build EV charging. BP Pulse is going to be spending $1 billion between now and 2030 and increase their DC fast charger count from 30,000 to 100,000 globally. Racetrack has 7 sites open, and we know many more. As I said, the article quotes the head of Racetrack EV charging, and there are several more said to be coming. Circle K is probably the most aggressive of this lot. They have about 75 locations open. And if you go to the Circle K website, which I'll link down below in the description, it also shows all the additional Circle K locations that are coming soon with kind of gray. So the open ones are red and the coming soon are gray. Anyway, this was interesting to see that there was actual information coming out of a C-store operator, in this case Racetrack, indicating that they are seeing increased sales at locations where they put in electric vehicle charging. And I'm sure the word is going to get out. This is not going to remain a secret. And pretty soon what we'll see is many more C-store operators starting to throw their hat in the ring of DC fast charger implementation. And as I was expecting, the Alternative Fuels Data Center database weekly update should start to show those as well. Thanks for watching.